Alright, so we saw the kind of grammatical terms which we are going to deal with, but we did not talk about them. Of course, we are going to talk about them later. For now, I'm trying to get some logic and some reasoning into place to understand why we made these rules and how these rules are important before actually trying to mug up or just reading at the definitions, because that would not make any sense. Okay, so first I'm going to take you through with all kind of errors and show you how those errors are disastrous and they change the meaning and they create complexities and they actually mess up the things. So let's look at the case of misplaced modifier. Again, without going to the grammatical jargons, I'm going to talk about in a very logical way on why and how these misplaced modifiers can be very disastrous in complex cases. In some of the cases, when the sentence is small, we can still manage it, but when the sentence is big, then it becomes a little bit complicated. So let's look at this example. Coming out of the department, comma, John's wallet was stolen. So when we are talking about coming out of the department, John was coming out. So it seems like John's wallet was coming out, and you might say that, oh, how can a John's wallet come out now? Of course, by common sense, we find out that John was coming out. But when we are using these modifiers, coming out of the department should be just followed by who is coming out. And we are going to see other cases as well. So if something is modifying something, then it should be placed very close to the thing which is modifying, which is quite logical, of course. And let's look at an example here. So again, the grammatical jargon, we are going to come to this slide again in the level 2, and we are going to talk about the participating phrases, the adjectives and the adjectival phrase and all these things. But the common sense says that if something is modifying something, if something is talked about something and we have a comma, then it should mean the same thing. So let's look at this one. So written in 1961, sorry, this is a typing mistake. Joseph scored a literary hit with his comedic first novel Catch-22. So written in 1961, comma, should be followed by what was written. Joseph was not written. If somebody is reading it without an alert mind, he might think that Joseph is the name of a like a literary hit, a comedic novel. So who knows, rather than Catch-22, it would be Joseph 1, Joseph 2, and your mind would go out. So written in 1961 should be followed by what is written in 1961, and it makes a lot of sense, which is in grammatical terms called the misplaced modifier. So written in 1961 should be followed by what is written, and the sentence should not be awkward. It should make sense, and it should not have something which actually changes the meaning. So the first two options here, A and B, are out because Joseph was not written in 1961. The D and E, which says that Catch-22, which was written in 1961 by Joseph, scored a literary hit with his first. So scored with his first comedic. So it's weird how they are taking the sentence. Catch-22, the first comedic first novel, scored a literary hit for Joseph. For it being, so was it because it was written in 1961? That's why it was a literary hit. It is changing the meaning. In fact, E. So it has nothing to do with the year. It's just like written in 1961. Catch-22 was his first novel. So the best option here, which conveys our message in the right way, which is clear, and where the modifiers are put in the very right way, is option C. Okay, so this is the case with misplaced modifier, and it's a very logical and reasonable thing which the GMAT board is asking, and which is required in the English language, that whenever you are talking about something, what we call it the participating phrase, then it should be like followed by what it is modifying. Otherwise it will make things wrong or ambiguous. So you don't want to wait very long until you know what was written. Okay, so when we have long sentences, these kind of errors actually magnify. Okay, so these are the questions of misplaced modifier for the GMAT, and in the next video we are going to continue with the errors which are called the parallel construction, and we are going to get some intuitive ways to understand that.